Relations and functions. Our objective is to identify the domain and range of relations and functions, as well as determine whether a relation is a function. Why learn this? The relationship between the numbers and the letters on the keys of an old cell phone can be described using relations. Let's start with some vocabulary. A relation is a pairing of input values with output values. A domain is the input values or x values. The range is the output values or y values. And a function, if you have one, there is only one output for each input. Let's look at a mapping diagram. You have your domain, your x values or input values, and your range, your y values or output values. Set of ordered pairs. In this case, you would have 2A, 2B, and 2C. Input, output, domain, range. Let's start by practicing identifying domain and range. Give the domain and range for the relation shown. Okay, so we have our year, that's going to be our domain, and our rate is our range. So 1900, so the year 1900, 2, 1920 is 2, 1940 is 3, 1960 is 4, 1980 is 15, and 2000 is 33. So your domain are all of your x values, and your range is all of your y values. Alright, so let's look at the difference between what is a function and what is not a function. So say your domain has the number 2, and your range has the values a, b, and c. There's more than one range matched with the domain. So your domain matches to more than one range. So the relationship from the number to the letter is not a function because the domain value 2 is mapped to the range values a, b, and c. Alright, well what if we flipped that? So your domain is the values a, b, and c, and your range is 2. This one is a function. The domain is only mapped to one range value. So your input only comes to one output. Yeah, all the outputs are the same for all the different domains. But when you stick one answer in, you only get one out. Whereas over here, you stick one answer in and you get 3 out. That's why it's not a function, whereas the one to the right is. It might be easier to think of it this way. Only one arrow can leave each piece of the domain. Let's determine whether a relation is in fact a function. So, we have instant rice cooking times. So servings 2, 4, 6, 8. And our cooking time is 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, and 11 minutes. Well, there is only one cooking time for each number of servings. The relation from the number of servings to cook time is in fact a function. We can also have a graph and use the vertical line test. So, if any vertical line passes through more than one point on the graph of a relation, the relation is not a function. So, let's look at this curve here. Notice, when we make a vertical line, no matter where we make a vertical line, it only crosses through one point. So therefore it's a function. If we look on the right-hand side, notice how when we draw a vertical line, we end up crossing through 2 values. That means, say this value here was 4. If we input 4 into our function, or our relation, we're going to come out with 2 answers, making it not a function. Let's practice. Use the vertical line test to determine whether each relation is a function. If not, identify 2 points a vertical line would pass through? Well, in A, if we decided to go through and make a line at x equals 5, we would cross through the points of, let's see, we've got 2.75, so we would have 5, 2.75, and we would have 5, 3. So our domain is paired with more than one range, which makes this not a function. Well, what about B? In B, no matter where we draw a vertical line, we're only going to cross our graph once. So this one is a function. And that ends our lesson on relations and functions. If you have any questions, ask your teacher.